Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. This is a Super Dave special review. Super Dave here with another exciting action figure review, a special Superman Day. This is like, I don't know, the last 2 years of the Hush Superman. I mean, we've gotten a lot of Superman, not only from McFarlane, but companies out of the blue like Pop Mart. I mean, we get a Hush Superman from Pop Mart, and this one's actually fully licensed, unlike the one that we got from the unlicensed company. And I did do a review of this one. You can go check it out. But I'm going to put him in here because I definitely want to do a comparison. The unlicensed, because he had an excellent head sculpt, just beautiful head sculpt. This guy looks like he's got a great head sculpt too, different body style, but still has real clothes. So you can see that box on the side there, whole bunch of legalese on that side. Then you have some more talk here under here, which is all kinds of languages, and a little peep of the figure and his two head sculpts right there in the window with the S shield cut out there. So that's pretty unique design. Hush Superman action figure. So that's going to be cool. Now, being that it is a Superman review, Superman Day here, I'm going in my world, I'm not talking about it's technically Superman Day like on the calendar. I wanted to take a look at this Beast Kingdom DC Comics Superman. Now this is not, I don't think, boasting to be Hush, but he's just cool looking, and I wanted to check him out. He's a different scale, so keep that in mind. And I'm just going to cover him because I'm just going to do a joint Superman theme here this afternoon. So let's check this out and just see what these Supermen are all about. And let's first take a look at our Pop Mart and our Beast Kingdom Superman's accessories. And our Pop Mart Superman, Hush Superman, comes with two head sculpts. The one that you see here, as well as heat vision style type eyes. He comes with 4 sets of hands. He comes with a set of relaxed hands equipped on the figure out of the box. He comes with a set of grappling hands, a set of balled up fisted hands, and then he comes with two right hands, one flesh tone and one wearing a glove. Or is that Batman's? I can't remember, but it's almost like a clenching the neck type hand. And that is all of his accessories. Then our Beast Kingdom, which is quite a bit different scale than these others. I believe this is considered maybe 1/8 scale, 1/10 at the very least, but I believe maybe even more than that, 1/9 even, because you can see how much taller he is. But I just wanted to compare these to show you just how much bigger he is, and just see which one's the best. Only bad thing is, so far, is that he only has one head sculpt, but it is a doozy. I really like this head sculpt. I think it is an excellent, mature Superman head sculpt. And then he has 5 sets of hands. He has his balled up fisted hands out of the package. He also has a set of gesturing looking hands, very realistic looking, grappling hands, some pointer finger hands, and some open palm hands for flying. So that is a really good pack out of hands. And he also comes with a little stand, with a peg hole. So that is our Beast Kingdom Superman. Now, he's not considered Hush, but this one is. Now, that reminds me, and I'm not a big fan of these, but because of the comic and the Poison Ivy whole thing, he does have a set of wrist. Poison Ivy you can put around his wrist, 2 of those, and then 1 around his neck. And I've strapped them around there, and that's probably where they're going to stay to kind of camouflage my little stand there, because I don't really have any use for them. I'm not going to use them on my Superman, but there you go. That is all the accessories. So now let's take a look at both of these guys and their articulation. All right, moving our Superman by Pop Mart, our Hush Superman. He is looking really good here. Thick arms, thick chest, nice logo that is actually like a rubber overlay. It's kind of a rubber overlay over this cloth, which is actually well done. It's so thin. You wouldn't know it unless you saw it in hand, that it's not like some kind of plastic or some kind of screening like they do t-shirts with the plasticky stuff. No, this is like a rubber piece. You can feel the texture, very rubber, and it is chiseled out. In other words, you can feel the dip into the yellow area and up onto the red area. So it's all chiseled out. So it gives it a 3D look. If we turn it all around, you have the same thing here on the back of the cape. It is an actual rubber overlay. It's very thin, well done. It's not like super obvious. Obviously, it's not going to fold with the cape as much, but it'll keep the cape kind of, you know, spread out there, not bunch up too much, which I think that's actually a benefit in this case. But yeah, you can see that it's also 3D. It's got the grooves, got the, you know, the depth to it there. Nice cape, very silky, very high quality feeling cape. Very thin seam with a very thin wire that goes from the shoulder all the way down to the very base. Nothing on the bottom as far as a wire, but they do have it on both sides. So we'll see how that functions. Again, he does have cloth clothing. You can see even in the video the little lines in the cloth. Now, unlike the other Superman, Hush Superman, that we've looked at already, this one, instead of having a plastic piece like that one did as the diaper or the overlay underwear part and belt, this one has like a real type belt with a cloth underwear overlay. So that's cloth also. Even the belt loops are cloth. So that's interesting. One of the things I've noticed automatically that is a little different from that body that we're a little bit used to, the nude body, the muscular nude body, standard body. I forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with that unlicensed, like American Defender type Superman that we've reviewed already, is that you can see the lines a little bit. Like, in other words, the articulation cuts here under the ribs, and especially right here, if you can see there, it just bulges out right there at this thigh cut. I wish that was not present. You don't see as much of that in that one. We'll look at that in comparisons. But yeah, like especially, and I'll show you this right quick. If you do something like that, oh man, it just stands out super, you know, too much. You can just see it. And it looks real cut up, looks weird. But you can adjust that by pressing back on the upper torso, and it brings the abs and the rib cage in alignment, and then you don't see an unnatural cut. It looks more like a natural rib cage cut. So that's good, but you can't fix this part here. It does have a drop down method there, as we're getting ready to see, but it doesn't fix this no matter what you do. Now, I guess if they had made these trousers, these underwear pieces just a little bit longer, you could, you know, you could have covered it with, and they could have done it, I think. You could have covered it with the underwear piece, but if you pull that down, it pulls it away up here, and then you see one at the waist. So I don't know, that there was a little bit of poor planning on that. But going on to the articulation here, and he does have like a plastic piece for the boot, by the way. But going on to the head sculpt, he's going to look up that much, which still isn't enough. It's the curse of Superman. Still not enough for him to have flying pose. Now, I just reviewed in my Motu universe, a Cosmic Legion homage or nod to Buzz Off. And they're not known, Mythic Legion / Cosmic Legion, they're not known for their superb articulation. But check this out. I mean, you know what I mean? If you can do that with a Bumblebee, why can't you do it with Superman? Because other companies have. Now, it's not bad. I mean, he looks up well That looks good, but it's still not enough for a, you know, dead on pose to fly forward like that right there. I would like to be able to be in this stance and have his eyes looking at the camera. Can't do that. That's impossible with this head. So that is disappointing. He'll look down all the way. He's going to get excellent pivot, which is really nice. He'll look side to side, of course. His arm is not going to, because of this cloth, get 360, but you are going to be able to raise it up like so, and you see it stretch you there. And then you're going to be able to go back as far as you need to. So, you know, you're going to be fine with it, but anytime you have real clothing stretched over plastic, you're not going to be able to do that full 360 deal for the most part without twisting it, messing it up. He strikes a T-pose fine there. There is bicep swivel, which works. I mean, you can adjust the cloth to get that bicep however you need it, so that's nice. He does have double jointed elbows, which also get really good range. He's got the ball joint at the wrist, so you're going to be able to get horizontal or vertical, depending on which direction you have that. Oh, look, and his skin, or his plastic underneath, is blue, so it's the same color as almost same color as the cloth. That's a little different from our other Superman, so that's interesting to note. I did not know that till just now, but you can still get that cloth up enough to cover up that ball joint. But like I said, you'll be able to do vertical or horizontal, whatever direction with that hand because of that kind of arrangement. I really like the muscularity of the arm. You can see the cephalic vein. You know, can cover up the joint pretty good with the elbow and everything. I like the forearm thickness. Everything there looks really nice and very Superman-esque. He may be a tad on the small side for my liking a little bit, and I can see already a little bit of crimping going on over here at the shoulder. See how it's dropped past the shoulder? I'm not sure why that happened. So, you know, you are going to have to do sometime a little bit of arranging. I got it back there to just, you know, function with this cloth, with it being real cloth, and I'm not sure why that is, other than it's just the reality of having real clothes here. Now this other arm and hand is going to be the same way. See, bicep swivel and everything. Going on to the diaphragm, you're going to be able to crunch forward using just the diaphragm about that much. You're going to be able to bend back a pretty decent amount there like that. And you're also going to be able to go side to side a little bit and rotate a little bit at the diaphragm. Now, if you use the ball joint that's in the waist area, you're going to get even more crunching forward and even more bending back, which is really good there. That's good. And that's probably where you would be able to get more of a flying pose right there. That's where you're going to be able to strike that flying pose with the head, even though the head won't go up because you can bend it really far back, and that's a good thing. That's good to know. Really brings out the chest development there, and he can just look really good flying like that right there and be able to look at the camera. So bravo, that's actually good. So that's definitely good to know. That makes me feel better about him already from that standpoint. Still have to adjust these clothes once you've messed with it, but he's also going to be able to lean from side to side, which looks really good, and also swivel at the waist. So he'll swivel at the diaphragm and the waist, which will give him really good range there. I mentioned earlier he does have the drop down method through the clothes there, but even without the drop down, he's going to be able to kick up a really good amount there. And then with the drop down, he's going to be able to kick up even more. But boy, he can really kick very good, and there's no hindrance there. You'll still have to adjust the clothes. He does have thigh rotation. Now, I would have sacrificed not having that to have cut out this awful looking like bulge around his leg. I don't like that at all. If they had made the trousers, these little underwear piece over it, a little bit longer, we could have covered up that hinge and that could have fixed it, but they chose to do neither one. So I am complaining about that. He does have double jointed knees, which look really good, of course, because the cloth covers up the joint. So it looks really natural and really good there. I like that. That's going to go back about that far. He's not going to be able to kick his own behind there, but he's going to be able to get pretty far back with that knee plenty that you would need to be able to do. There's no boot swivel here, but you do have foot swivel. So that, you know, is definitely going to be good enough. It's kind of like looks like, yeah, it's like a ball joint going into that foot. So he's going to be able to go not quite full tiptoes, but go down enough to be able to get your flying poses. He's going to be able to go up actually more than it goes down, which is kind of odd, I think. But anyway, it's basically for a figure that you're going to want to be able to pose and flying poses with. But either way, and also, and I'll show you on this one, because it goes down. That one seems to go down a little bit further maybe. Goes up, and then you get nice rockers with that ball joint also. So again, it does rotate. So instead of a boot cut rotation, you get a foot rotation all the way there. So that's really good. And I didn't show you this, but I will. And it doesn't put too much pressure on it, but you can feel it stretching a little bit, but he gets pretty much full splits there. So that is really cool and looks really good. Again, you have to make the adjustments to this diaper slash, you know, underwear over top of his clothes. And that's just one of those downsides, in my opinion, to this figure. And even with the seam being right here, it's hard to tell in camera, but there's a seam right there that's bunched up. It kind of exemplifies and it accentuates, I should say, this bulge even worse. And I just don't like that. I wish they had gone with what they had done with this one here, this unlicensed one, because this piece is just a plastic piece, a soft plastic, and it keeps its shape and doesn't get in the way and just looks better. Just looks better for sure. So, you know, that's a little bit of a bummer on that standpoint, in my opinion. But, you know, that's my preference anyway. I think I like the other one better in that way. I even think I like the other one's head a little bit better, even though this does have an excellent head. The other one has a little bit more of a 5 o'clock shadow. The eyes look really good. I'm going to try to get a little closer here without it. Man, it just, there we go. If you can see the eyes, there we go. Looks pretty good there. I like it. But yeah, looks super good there. Now let's go ahead and remove this head. It pops right off, and we'll put on the type, you know, burning eye look here. Let's see what you think of this one. It's going to have the same type articulation, looking up, looking down. You've got head pivot, turns both ways, so you can see what that head looks like. The eyes are glowing. Not really, but they reflect that light. Got the dark red kind of around the eyes, like he's just, and his hair is even a little bit disheveled. Maybe he's been flying and fighting. It's a little bit more spread out. He's got a grimace to his face here. And so he is angry Superman for sure. Ears, hair, everything's done super well, I think. The neck, even back here, I like the way they did that. Looks really good. I like him. Now, I know we're not at comparisons yet, technically, but because this is like the same type Superman, Hush Superman, I have to say that I think in my initial reaction here, I just feel like that this unlicensed one, even though this is a plastic piece over this, and it doesn't even look, you know, fully like the Superman symbol like we're used to, I just really believe that I prefer this one over this one. I like the color of his suit better here. I like the underwear part better here. I even like the cape a little bit better, to be honest, and I definitely like the head sculpt better, in my opinion. I like both head sculpts, but I think I like this one a little bit more. And to make it a fair, you know, side by side, even though The other one, the unlicensed one, does have another head sculpt. Go ahead and put the similar head here. See, it's a little smaller too. It's a little smaller. Now you might like this Superman chiseled jaw a little bit better because this has such a big Jay Leno jaw. It almost looks like a underbite on this Superman with such a standout jaw. And this is like Hot Toys quality skin texture and paint on this face. We talked about that when we reviewed it. Whereas this one's not as much, but it definitely does not, it's not a sloppy job. It's excellent. It's standout quality. But I just think I prefer this with this size and this look a little better for this Superman. But I do like this face overall. I think that's a nice looking face for a Superman. So that's just a quick little comparison to these that both have. And then too, again, you don't have that standing out. You don't have anything showing here, even though he's got real clothes stretched over this body. There's not as much breakage. And I think they did a little bit better job with the narrow waist than they did here. It just looks a little bit out of proportion. Wide chest, narrow waist, almost too much, and tiny little ab sections, whereas this one has a little bit more realism to it to me. But again, those are just some nitpicks. All right, let's go ahead and look at our Beast Kingdom's articulation. Now, for the sake of just showing you that even though this is a taller scale of a Superman compared to what we've been looking at here, this Superman could still be photographed with some 1/12 scale figures that are larger, like this Marvel Legends figure that we've got here, and even this Loose Collectors Bigfoot, which I've done a review on Bigfoot not too long ago. You can check that out. He's an awesome figure by Loose Collectors. I believe they still have those on Big Bad Toy Store. But here is Beast Kingdom Superman that is just, you know, right in scale with these. He is a little shorter than these guys, but, you know, could definitely fight them, or you could use them in some photo shoots. So even though this guy is a bit taller, you know, and you might say, well, even though this scale does not match up with most things like McFarlane, even it's taller than McFarlane, it's taller than Marvel Legend, and I'll show you a McFarlane figure here in just a minute, because some of them are taller than others, but still, you know, you'd have to find one of the big tall ones to match up with this guy, and you could do that. But the thing about this Superman is you could still pose him and compare him to some of your 1/12 scale larger figures, even though he's not 1/12 scale. So there is a possibility there. But his head, oh man, I'm so disappointed. Look at that. It's the Superman curse. His head does not go up far enough for a flying pose. Why? Why can they not do that on any Superman? I mean, this, you would have thought they could have really done that here. And I know, you know, we're going to look at the diaphragm. We saw that in the Pop Mart, you know, that you can get it if you do the diaphragm. But why can't you get a Superman that has the ability to look up all the way? You can. They've just got to design it right. And it's, I call it the Superman curse, because look, he's in a Superman pose there, and he cannot look at the camera without doing some major, you know, posing to the diaphragm area. But you should be able to do that, in my opinion, with a straight body, to be able to look straight ahead, and you just can't. It seems like they never get that. But anyway, I digress. He looks down all the way, looks really good. He gets some pretty good head pivot. Not as far as I would have thought with this scale of figure. The Pop Mart one got better head pivot than this one does. But it's there. He's going to be able to look side to side, of course. I like the way the neck looks, the Adam's apple, the neck lines. Everything looks very realistic. This face sculpt is superb, in my opinion. It really looks good. The ears, you can see here you have a overlay. It's not rubber like the other, but it is some kind of material that overlays this cape. It's not really, I don't know, it's not like a screening, because you can still see the cloth in between, but it's nice. This is an overlay. It's not rubber, it's plastic, but there is an overlay over top of the suit. Now this suit's not cloth like the other two that we were looking. Ooh, wow, that popped off super easy. That's not good. Don't like that. Hope it didn't break. I really hope it didn't break. Okay, it popped back in. But you have to be very careful. Whew, that makes me nervous. So you're not going to be able to get a full T-pose. I'm going to be very careful with that. You will be able to go full 360. He does have bicep swivel, and you can see like the tightening of the cloth around the bicep. You can see where they were going for that look. He does have double jointed elbows, but boy, those elbows look horrible. Look at that. That looks nasty. I don't like that at all. That's awful. That is just terrible. Strange. It don't look too bad when it's down, but when you bend that all the way, that looks horrible. I do not like the way they did that double joint at all. That is just disappointing on that part. It does have the ball joint, so you're going to be able to get horizontal or vertical depending on which way you turn that ball joint. And like I said, we saw several hands for that. Bicep swivel over here. Let's see if there's anything better over here. Yeah, still that ugly. Oh, that is so ugly. They did a horrible job with this. Don't like that at all. Not at all. Now, I got that back in there, but it still feels like it's going to pop out. I don't like that either. But anyway, going on to the diaphragm, he's going to be able to crunch forward that much with just the diaphragm. He's going to be able to bend back a really good amount using just the diaphragm. He's not going to be able to turn much. He can turn, but it hits. So he'll be able to turn just slightly there. Oh yeah, he gets really good side to side motion. Then when you add the ball joint in the front, the stomach, waist area, he's going to be able to crunch that much. He's going to be able to, you can see that ball joint, yep, down in there. You can shift that, maybe. Still going to leave a little gappage, but he's going to be able to bend back a whole bunch, and that's where you're going to get, again, your flying pose. And still, even in that full blast, he still can't look at the camera in the straight on flying pose. So yeah, that is just super. I mean, for a scale like this, that should have been an easy no-brainer when they were designing this figure, and that's very disappointing. He does turn at the waist, but it's not as much as I would have thought. I mean, it's enough, but it kind of starts getting tight on the edges right there. But it does a pretty good job hiding it. It's not too bad. He does have drop-down method, and I mean drop-down gap method there. He does get full splits. Get back in there. He does have thigh rotation, really well done with it built into the thigh without showing a cut here. That's what they should have done to the underneath body of that Pop Smart. But when you do that drop down, he's going to be able to kick up a whole bunch. Goes to the side a little bit. Without the drop down, he'll be able to kick up about that much. Now, looking at the double jointed knees, let's see if they did a better job than they did with the elbows. It's pretty much the same principle, but it just looks better on the knee than it does on the elbow by far, for sure. It's still clunky, but it looks better on the knee. So that's good. And let's see how far back it'll go. Yeah, he can kick all the way back to his back, his upper back there. So definitely a good range as far as that is concerned. Now, there is technically a little bit of a boot cut, but it's not necessarily designed to because of the calf muscle and the shape. It's not a good turn, but it will shift a little bit. There's a little bit there, but you're going to get your turn mainly at the ankle. It's a ball joint, so you're going to be able to go up that much. You're going to be able to go down a pretty decent amount, And then you'll have excellent rockers. No peg hole on this foot, but there is a peg hole on this foot. So that's why you have the stand. And he has a toe hinge, as you can see there. So definitely has plenty of mobility here and most everything that you need, except for if you're flying and want to look straight ahead. But anyway, going on to the cape, you have a nice cape. It's not quite the quality of the feel of that Pop Mart, but it is a quality feel, and just not as, I don't know, there, you can see the inner seam there, but you don't see the threading, so it's a lot thicker here. Just a little bit cheaper material here overall. They got something on the back here. I don't know if that's to prevent it from, I don't know, rubbing on that back there. I'm not sure what that's for, unless it was something about this to help iron on that. I don't know. But anyway, there is a wire that comes from the inside of that plastic where the neck attaches all the way down to the base, just like with the other. No wire on the bottom, of course, but it does have a good little pleat in it back here, which looks nice, but yet doesn't cover up the yellow logo on the back. So you are going to be able to bend that cape pretty much wherever you want. And that wire is a little bit heavier and thicker than what we had on the Pop Mart. So I'm thinking that we're going to be able to do a little bit better posability with the cape on this figure than with the smaller figure that we just looked at. But yeah, there's some definite issues with this Superman at this scale, in my opinion. But overall, I really like his look. I like him a lot. I'm just very disappointed with certain aspects, like this right here. This looks just bad to me when you bend the elbow. Just looks very unnatural and unfortunate. Some things like the gappage here, the lack of articulation in the neck, just some of those things. Even the gap here, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, I don't see why they had to do it quite like the way they've done it here. I would almost rather not have drop down method than to have, because it doesn't really help with the kicking that much. You got a really nice ball joint. Get my thumb out of the way. You have a really nice ball joint system with a section that goes up into the leg, which allows an excellent thigh rotation, as we showed. So there was just some things that were unnecessary. The hands look really good. Very nice quality to these hands and the detail to all of those, all 5 sets. So overall, I'm pleased with this Superman at this scale, but there's just some things that I would have changed, obviously. All right, I do want to measure this Superman just so you kind of know exactly his height. So we're going to measure this one on in here, and he is exactly 8 at the top of his hair, 8.5 inches tall. And that is his height there, 8.5 inches tall. Now, just while we're here measuring, let's go ahead and measure our Pop Mart Superman also. And he is shorter than the unlicensed one, which was right at 7 inches. This one is right at 6 3/4. 6 3/4. Maybe just a hair over that. So yeah, just a tad shorter than our unlicensed Chaos, I think it was. I can't remember the brand. Sorry about that, but you can go check out my review on him. But yeah, that's where they measure in. All right, now let's do some comparisons. And in comparisons here, of course, our Beast Kingdom Superman's going to be extra tall here. Here's a McFarlane Supergirl next to our new Pop Mart Superman, Hush Superman. Here's the Hush Superman by Mafex. But anyway, that was a disappointing Superman. I got like the C something another knockoff from AliExpress. Should be getting that in at some point. Hoping that one's going to be better. The pictures I've seen, he's got a darker yellow S backdrop, but the same pastel belt. But wondering if some of the joints and the stuff will be a little bit better than this one was. And then we have our Yamaguchi Revoltech style new 52 Superman, and he's really awesome. But just a few comparisons here, and you can definitely see how short this Hush Superman is. Really doesn't fit in with any scale. So this Superman, even though he's got the real cloth and looks a little wonky with his shorts and stuff, it's nice to have a Hush Superman in scale here that does have the actual clothes, the cloth clothes here, and the wire cape, looking cool. And here's our Beast Kingdom Superman next to our David Corset Fonjoy Superman. Now, I did paint some of those lines to bring out that lighter blue to make it pop, but he is just an excellent looking figure by Fonjoy, and that's also the crypto that goes with that Fonjoy Superman from the movie with David Corset. And then here's our new Pop Mart Hush Superman next to a McFarlane Supergirl, and they look really good together. I think they pair up really nice there. And then here is, I'm not sure if this was a Hush Superman or not, but it's a plastic cape. But he's, other than his real like crazy pale skin, I like his head sculpt, and I think he looked really sharp. But he's definitely taller than this Hush Superman here. Now we're talking, now we can highlight the Beast Kingdom Superman, because next to this Storm Collectible Dark Side, he's looking really good. Now this is the Storm Collectible one. I have ordered the Beast Kingdom Dark Side, so we'll find out just how big that one will be in comparison to this one. But yeah, you could definitely match these against each other. Darkseid's supposed to be, you know, a giant, a big, I should say, character. Alongside even, you know, these, you could use them with him too. There's McFarlane's, I guess you'd say, just plain regular Superman, so to speak, with the cloth cape, the vault that they came back with, because the first release one had a plastic cape. But there, you can see their faces are very similar, I think, in some ways, you know, where you have like more of a premium type character versus a retail character. They look similar face wise, but yeah, you can see how they look together here. And again, here's another way we can highlight this Beast Kingdom Superman, because I've said from day one this McFarlane Power Girl was huge. She was super tall compared to other McFarlane action figures, even the women, with the exception of the movie Wonder Woman, which I showed when I reviewed this Power Girl. But yeah, you can actually put these two together, because, you know, females are normally shorter a little bit. So yeah, you could definitely fit this Beast Kingdom and this McFarlane Power Girl together, and they look, I'd say, dynamic next to each other. They look in scale. They really do. I mean, they're just standing next to each other, and they look really good. Both of them have cloth capes. Both of them look good, and I think that the head sculpt with her poofy hair match up fine, and the height is there. So I like that. Then here's our more comic McFarlane Superman. You can see, you know, all these are going to make this guy look dwarf in comparison to a certain degree. But yeah, I mean, and I'll show you alongside of like a Marvel Legends, but this guy's just short. But, you know, just showing you the other Superman figures that I have. And then for one further comparison with the Marvel Legends, here is one of my favorite Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the one that was so posable, that had even the toe hinge. And then here is the, I think it was the Capcom versus like the Street Fighter, maybe, version of Captain America. But yeah, you can see that they definitely, I think, look great in scale together here. So Marvel Legends is one of the possibilities if you needed some figures to pose this Superman with, especially maybe some villains or even some side characters that could be benign and non-recognizable, like Captain America and Spider-Man. You could use them to pose alongside of this awesome Superman, Hush Superman. But yeah, there you have it. And thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave special review on Superman Day, in this review anyway. And we've had a ball looking at both of these action figures. Be blessed. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Here's some photos in the photo gallery.